What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss the news that Warner Bros. Is going to be at E3 2020. So this, I believe, came out around 2 days ago. There was like the first wave of company listings, basically, of companies that are confirmed to be going to E3 2020. There's actually quite a few companies that we know of, obviously, that are not going. Some of the biggest players in the industry, Nintendo, Sony, to name two of the three biggest. But, we have many others that obviously are going. Warner Bros. Being one of them. So here's the deal. Here's where we ultimately stand. We now have actually entered like the new phase. We've entered like this battle phase that we've kind of all talked about, honestly, for months. And some people had even said it, I guess, even dating back to like August, September, when it's like, okay, well, we may have to honestly wait till E3 2020. Now, here's the deal. And here's what this video is about. Obviously, if you've read the title, you know. The question is, and the question has always been, because we're getting closer and closer to me being wrong on one of my predictions. Back, I believe, right after Christmas, I talked about how I believe that this Arkham game, is going to be announced before E3. So we're getting closer to me just not being correct on that prediction. It's okay. I've been wrong on plenty of things. I'm sure a lot of people will tell me that I've been wrong on plenty of things, but that's okay. However, I do still stand a chance, in all honesty. And in all honesty of us wanting to get the game's announcement sooner, it is something that we should probably discuss, right? So here's the deal. Honestly, you only have two options, and they're pretty easy. I don't even necessarily need to explain it to you, but I'm going to anyway. The first one is it gets announced before E3. The second one is it gets announced at E3. Now, here's the deal. Warner Bros., and I know some people may jump to this. I don't think that many will. Warner Bros. Is a publisher that obviously has multiple studios, okay? And they also are publishers of games that are not their own. So there's studios out there that are making games that are publishing through Warner Bros. Okay, so like Cyberpunk is a good example. CD Projekt Red is not a publisher; they're only a developer. They are publishing Cyberpunk through Warner Bros. So you could even very much cop out of this entire argument in this entire video by saying, well, yeah, they're going there for Cyberpunk. And to be honest with you, that's why they were pretty much there last year. Okay, I think E3 2019 was for Cyberpunk, but this year, it's more than just Cyberpunk, okay? We have all of these games. We have the rumored Harry Potter game, which actually is making the news again all of a sudden, which is really awesome. We'll be talking about that, I think, earlier next week. But we have that. We have Rocksteady's game. We have Monolith, who some people have said they're making a new IP. We'll have to see. But there's a lot of things being said about Warner Bros. Studios, right? So I think them going there, remember a few years ago, they had their own kind of direct. You know how Nintendo has Nintendo Direct, Sony has State of Play now. Warner Bros. Had like a mini, like I think 30, 45-minute press conference, pretty much, where they just showed game after game after game. I think they did that like 2017, maybe 2016. So they've done it somewhat recently. So I feel like, honestly, that's what I expect, because really, and we talked about it, I think we talked about it on Thursday or yesterday's video, where does Warner Bros. Really come out at E3 and say, here's the new games? Because they don't have their own stage, so what? Are they going to give Microsoft? Because Microsoft is the only other presence there. They're not going to go up on EA's stage and say, hey, we have a new game, because EA is a publisher on its own, right? So is Microsoft, but just because of the dynamic there, they can do it. But they're not going to go to EA, they're not going to go to Ubisoft, they're not going to Bethesda, and that's fine if they only have one game. But the more we get closer to this, the more I honestly feel like Warner Bros. Can go all out. They could announce a Harry Potter. They definitely should talk about Batman Arkham. They definitely should talk about Rocksteady's game. They definitely should talk about Monolith game, and they have other studios, and obviously Cyberpunk and stuff like that. So they have a lot to cover. They can't, like, Microsoft can't just give half their show. I mean, they could if they have nothing else. They could just give half their show to Warner Bros. But I think that's getting a little bit off topic. The basic question is, will we wait all the way till E3? Guys, let me tell this is Alex speaking. Hello. From the bottom of my heart, I truly don't want to wait. I mean, that could sound very selfish, but you know what? I think we've all, and I've said this before, we've earned the right to be upset. We've earned the right not to demand, not to like go to Warner Bros. Montreal and bang on their door, but we've earned the right to say, like, all right, we like knock it off. Like this is all nonsense. Just do it already. And again, not necessarily demanding it, but I think it's okay that we want these things. I don't think a lot of people will spin that as a negative, but I really don't understand why. We're not pressuring them to release the game tomorrow. Nobody has ever said that, and I think that's what a lot of people jump to. But that's where I stand. That's honestly where I stand. Is like, just Well, and I guess I could still technically be right because now So again, here I keep saying here's the deal. Is that like a thing with me that I always say that? Here's the deal when it comes to E3. We have entered, like I said, the new phase, but we've entered like that system. So Warner Bros. Has gone to E3 before. They've announced Batman games at E3 before, and there's systems to how they do it. There's also things that we can look at as patterns, okay? People have talked about Arkham Origins. Like the March-April period has definitely been a time for things with Arkham Knight, Arkham Origins, and then obviously Arkham Origins came out late October. Arkham Knight was supposed to come out like September, October, but then was pushed to June, remember? So a full year after it was announced. But around the springtime, for these patterns of Warner Bros. Fully revealing it at E3, they do have a history of teasing it, of talking about it a little bit, of it pretty much being like a known commodity, like, okay, it's real, like maybe even here's a couple pictures or two of it, right? Here's all this stuff, and then we're going to fully reveal it at E3. Again, a pattern. So, could I still technically be right? Yeah, I could, because over the next couple months, it's big. Again, it also falls into the same category of like, is it the cross-generation game? Because I could see at a PS5 reveal event, if we're going to get maybe another image teaser before then, it would have to happen before then, maybe at the teaser event we get something else, Batman Arkham related. Not a huge thing at all. I'm talking extremely, extremely small. But again, I don't know if Sony would kind of let that happen during their stage, right? Like, is that something that they'd want to throw in with their show talking about this next generation console? And if the game is only current gen, then that pretty much just kicks it out there entirely, right? But still, March and April have been historically biggish months when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to Arkham in general. So I mean, it's exciting. At the end of the day, it's exciting. It's another thing kind of confirmed. And again, people can jump to, Warner Bros. Owns more than just a couple studios. They could be there for an entirely different reason. They could just be going there for Cyberpunk. And honestly, last year, like I said, I believe the only thing from Warner Bros. Was Cyberpunk. I can't think right now of anything else. I'm sure there probably was, but nothing like that would jump out on you, right? Obviously, there's nothing I can think of right now that did it, but that's a big, I mean, maybe is that Lego Star Wars collection, the whole like 1 through 9, I think that's being published by Warner Bros. But like, okay, I don't think they were there for that. I think that was announced at E3 too. So, you know what I mean though? I think Cyberpunk was honestly the main reason. This year, that is just, I mean, flat out, that is not the case. And here's the biggest thing. I'm looking at this wrong. We could be getting more excited than this because at the end of the day, I'm talking about it as E3 is like the last stop. We're like, that's where we will get it. But let's hope we can get it before then because that's still 4 months away. I mean, a little less than 4 months at this point, but just about 4 months away. Long wait time. Between then, we're just going to get a couple more images, right? So, like, let's just speed things up. So, I guess I'm looking at it from that, which you could find some, like, discouragement, or you could just feel like it's a long wait time. However, if you flip it to look at the optimistic side, because a lot of people come here for optimism, well, let me tell you this. I feel like it's just now been confirmed that, like, that's it, right? So, at the very worst, if we get nothing, I do think we'll get images. I mean, They can't go from what they've given us now to just giving us the reveal trailer. I really don't think they're just going to jump from one to the other. I think they're going to be giving more images as the months roll on, which is, again, why I think a February thing could still very well happen. Just another set of images, if not early March. I mean, it's got to be within this next, like, month and a half. I think we need to get the next set of images. I think we keep saying it, they have to, but I really do think they have to. But again, the optimistic side is I think no matter what, that's when we're seeing it. And if all of those leaks are true, by the way, and it's coming out this fall, well, let me tell you, E3 is going to be ginormous. It's going to be huge, okay, in the Donald Trump kind of way. It's going to be huge because that's when we're going to see everything. We'll see a trailer. I'm sure we'll see gameplay. We'll see the open world. We'll see mechanics. We'll hear about stuff, all this. And then we'll say, like, hey, the game comes out late October. Or they'll give the date, like October 22nd or whatever. They'll be like, oh, my God, it's really happening. And I'm telling you, it will happen that fast. That's how People, I guess, don't make it far enough in the videos to hear all the stuff I have to say, because I keep hearing people saying, like, Warner Bros. Doesn't do that. Yeah, they do. They do it all. Maybe I should start saying that in the beginning of the video, because they do it all the time. It's going to be a very short window from when this game is announced to when it is released. I'm absolutely telling you guys. So, at the very worst, I think E3 is the time. I mean, a lot of people had been saying that for months, and that's totally cool. I didn't want to believe that, but I guess now, you know, again, the very worst, that'll be the time. And at the very best, hopefully before it. Hopefully we get something. Like, remember the images? Even like, you know, the images were kind of put in a very, very short video back in September. Maybe even just something like that, but like an actual like trailer, like a 10-second trailer of something where it just shows like the bat symbol or the bat family or something. I think that's something we could get eventually after the images are done. We get that, and then at E3 we get the full thing, which would still, I think, qualify for what I said, because we would still absolutely know it's real and it's coming before E3. But again, I mean, justifying my prediction or saying whether I'll be right or wrong, that's the least of our problems now, because we've entered, again, a brand new era for Batman. It's very, very exciting. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think about this. And also, I know I promised you guys my explanation of what a soft reboot. That's going to be the next video. So on Sunday, we're going to have a video explaining this whole soft reboot thing. I think there's a lot of miscommunication, even by notable quote-unquote leakers. There's a lot of just garbage, honestly, floating around there. I want to simplify things. I want to talk about what this soft reboot actually means, okay? So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Obviously, as you guys always do, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, leave a like, all that kind of good stuff. You guys truly, truly rock. I haven't said that in a while, but you guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for watching all these videos, and I'll see you on the next one.